Hi. Oh my gosh, do I jump up and down, or what's the emotion today on January 6th? Oh my gosh, hello, hello, hello. Hi, everyone. Good to see you. Mom, Justin, brand new. I love it. Welcome to Amy Cole Connect Virtual Breakfast Career Zoom. Amen, hallelujah to all that we did and didn't do in the past 2 weeks. Who the heck knows? Geez, I got a lot done, I guess. I don't know. You know, the list was long, and I promised myself I would hang out and read a book or do a puzzle, but I didn't do that, so that's okay. But listen, welcome, 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 and to Amy Cole Connect Virtual Breakfast Career Zoom. This is a place where we get our professional edge on every Wednesday at 10 o'clock, so feel free to just use the link that you already have in your life and continue to jump on. I welcome you to do that, of course. So, you know, I am Amy Cole. Many of you do and don't know me. There's a lot of new faces. I want to thank everybody for coming. Those that I do and don't know, you know, I'm a big fat love kiss girl. Lauren Pearl, brand new. So it's fun to see new names and new faces. I am an executive recruiter of 20 years, and we staff most people in the consumer goods, apparel, home, and beauty. Many companies that service people like Target and Kohl's and Walmart. They manufacture a product, and that is our history. For the past 12 years, we've layered on career coaching, because in fairness to you and everyone sitting out here, you are a candidate that needs to be packaged when I put you in front of a client to have them hire you. So as silly as it is, and I don't love the words, but I am selling you guys as my product, and I need you to be buttoned up and topped up and understand your value. And your value is what makes the biggest difference when you go out into the marketplace, whether you are going through a recruiter or not. So this time is always a time for you to also to increase your value, to listen and learn and glean, you know, nuggets, professional nuggets on how you should be out in the marketplace. In addition, I do leadership and development training. This week, actually, I'm doing something on diversity, equity, and inclusion, which really is a fun thing to dig into. It is interesting how our unconscious biases jump into everything, how our self-biases come in, where we decide we cannot accomplish something because of a reason, or you decide you're not going to hire someone because of a reason that really has nothing to do with their skill set or capability. So this digging into this DEI workshop that I'm running has really been an opener for me. Where is their bias for me? Where's their bias when I don't want to work with certain people company-wise? You know, I don't want to work with them, they're too old school, or, you know, anyway, well, that's a whole nother for another virtual breakfast. But we are a group of leaders on this call. You are in a situation where you are seeing, you know, you've got hiring managers on the call, you've got executives on the call, you are either looking for a job or you're looking for career advancement, you're looking for some type of promotion. We are an opportunity to be a network. As my sister says, my business partner Lisa always says, this is your personal advisory board that you're building on Wednesdays. This is it, guys. Now is the new digital. This is your industry association breakfast that you went to every month, or that you attended your meetup once a month at, you know, or at one of the fancy conference areas. You know, you went over to One Times Square. I used to go to the New York Times building once a month for a meeting regarding recruiting and learning how to better recruit. That was fun to go to the New York Times building. It's so cool over there. And, you know, we don't do that anymore. Now we all meet here. So we have to engage in a new and different way. And that does take a bit of finesse, and that does take a bit of investing in yourself. So this virtual breakfast is for all of us, okay? It's an empowering, it's an accountability tool. If it's something that you are prioritizing every Wednesday, hats off to you. I think that you will see the fruit of your labor. Those of us that stick things out, we always see some type of fruit. It may be a shy right now that you can't see, but there will be fruit to that labor. And there's new adventure here. There's new learning. There's a place to be vulnerable. You know Amy Cole, I am vulnerable. I am winging it, okay? I am winging it. We are on virtual breakfast number 39. Thank you, Cindy, for the heart. But I didn't think I'd be hosting a weekly Let's Get Your Professional Edge on Career Zoom. Who thought? You know, I used to do this monthly live in New York with a whiteboard and get all excited, and you guys would whiteboard. And now it's throw it out there, see what sticks, see who I can empower, and where we can all grow. So we're definitely stronger together. There is no two ways about that. But I also want you to know that while you're here, it is that place to get inspired. It is that place to get inspired, but it's also that place to be raw and to take in industry nuggets. My goal is to broaden our mindset in every different industry. So our speakers every week vary because I want them to teach us what's going on in their landscape. What could it be that we could be a part of that landscape that we're not a part of? So I'm listening with open ears. This is not as though these are things that I know. I'm learning through every individual that also joins us. So please, know that it's all of us working together and educating each other. Why do we need a virtual breakfast? It is a whole new work-life paradigm. Hiring has changed. Putting yourself out in the market has changed. Being a person in the digital landscape. What is your digital footprint? Your professional digital footprint needs to be looked at today in a whole new way. You're not getting a job in an elevator. You're not in an elevator, right? You're not meeting the guy, girl at the coffee shop anymore. Oh, I ran into this. I always got my coffee at Starbucks and he's the VP at Global Brands Group and he's gotten to know me. He said, you should come over and interview. Is that happening? Not this minute. We now need scripts, a way to say hello to that guy that should have been the guy that we see every single day at Starbucks coffee. So whether you're here to pivot or pound the pavement, that's what I always say. You're either going to pivot or you're pounding the pavement because the old is gone and the new is in. What's exciting is that we get to do it together, navigate it together. I don't know. I get excited. I'm one of those cheesy girls, you know me. So I think it's exciting, and I know that God's got a plan for each and every one of us. I know that from the guts, and I share that openly. I'm not afraid to tell you how special you are, that there is a purpose for you and there is a seat for you. It excites me to share that. It excites me to let you know that. And I hope that you too are excited by those possibilities and have complete and utter trust and faith in those. So wherever you stand right now, whatever you need, accountability, personal advisory board, little injection of inspiration, you're in the right place. I completely believe that you're here and that those of you that are here should be here. And, if you are not right now feeling 110% about where your professional edge is, or if you're not 110% right now clear and confident about the direction you should be taking or how you should position yourself in this new market. I can't give you all those nuggets in this short hour, but I promise to give you an opportunity towards the end. So hang out till the end and to join us in a deeper way where we will offer you opportunities to do career coaching of different sorts or join a group that may empower you to stay on point in a strategy to keep your job hunt rolling for those of you that are sitting. So every week I take a minute. I'm a big journaler. Don't ask. I have so many journals. I don't know what I'm going to do with them all. Anyway, so during the time, it was everyone, right? It's New Year's. Woohoo! It's, take a look at 2020. Take a look at 2020. And I actually did check out during the holiday. I took a break and that felt great. That felt really great. And so I hope you all did. It's not like me to really do that, but I actually did take some downtime. And I think it's exciting to learn from all the things that we did go through in 2020. It's really exciting to say, what frightened us, what didn't frighten us. If we can kind of look at it, then we can address how we can maybe take it off if it happens to be freezing us in any type of way, if it's paralyzing us. What did we learn? What did we learn? And it doesn't have to be so earth-shattering, but it just, maybe it's taking yet another nugget of your journey of your life, career and personal, that you say, I didn't like that. That sucked. That was awful. That made me feel terrible. I sat in a ball and cried. I couldn't get motivated. But you know what it said to me? It said that that's not the way it's not going to help me. I mean, I had a therapist once say, when you're lying in bed anxious, get up. Like, don't waste that time. It's time wasted. So, she's right. Get out of bed, just do something, go for a walk, just change the paradigm for a minute, change your environment, change your space, whatever it is, flip through a magazine. It's important right now that when we are seeing a type of roadblock, that we don't just barrel through it. Take a break, walk around. Take a break and walk around. I think if we're all that kind of spirit right now, if we all agree that it's these baby steps that are getting us places, then we're going to see a bigger fruit at the end of this tunnel. We are seeding ourselves for growing this gorgeous tree. And it is new stuff. That's why there's a roadblock, because none of us like to be paralyzed with not knowing everything. Are we not a culture of, I've got this, we've got this? Come on, right? So you don't have it. Nobody does. I don't know where the jobs are. As a recruiter, I am calling companies. Who are you hiring? Why are you hiring? Well, we're still downsized. We're not hiring this minute. We are, but we're hiring in this category. We're hiring engineers in IT, not my category. So I got to start getting in that category or think about that, or is that my sweet spot, and that kind of thing. So let's say bye-bye 2020. Let's learn from the negative, right? What we shouldn't repeat. Amen, hallelujah, Cindy, bye-bye 2020. You know, maybe it's your COVID-15, I don't know. I know that last year during COVID, my goal was to really sit down and meditate. So let's just be clear, did not happen. I cannot sit still and I cannot rest the mind. So it's back on the list for 2021. I'm not gonna kill myself about it. I'm gonna try again. So can we please be sitting here in 2022 and you guys laughing that I'm sitting here like a monk with just joy flowing out of my ear balls, okay? That would be great. But we get to start again and we get to learn from people. And you do know that I'm a big arty-farty girl, and I was reading an Architecture Digest over the holiday, and I was inspired by a story about all the architects that have lived into their 90s. I.M. Pei, who did the Louvre, he lived till he was 98. I mean, come on. Frank Lloyd Wright, the Guggenheim, I.M. Pei is 98. Frank Lloyd Wright, 92 from the Guggenheim. Frank Gehry, still alive at 91. So what's my point? These men did not stop learning. They did not stop learning. The buildings that they architecturally designed in the beginning of their careers look nothing like the buildings that they did futuristically in their careers. New materials, new places, new banks, from doing art to doing banks or City Field, actually. You know, these architects are creators, but decided that there has to be a type of pivot to be current and to expand themselves. And in their 90s. So why is that so impressive? Is because if we keep learning, we keep this active and we keep excited, it fills this joyful place, which is the lead, right? We lead from our hearts. Then this learning is a good thing. It's a good thing. It's keeping us young. It's keeping us young so we'll be old. And listen, I made it through 2001 recruiting. I made it through the demise of the market in 2008 in recruiting. And we are having another tough go with the marketplace. We are all going to do fine. It will turn around. It's taking this time to learn and absorb new skills and believing in those possibilities. So that's really my point, is saying that we are a group, and through trial and error, right? We're gonna try new things. I also want you to know something. It's hard to realize this. You have everything you need to succeed right this minute. Everything you need to succeed, you have right this minute. You have knowledge, you have expertise, you have a brain, you have a heart, you have a voice. You are exceptional, and it's not only that you're exceptional, it's that the tools are within you to take on new things. Because if you did a deep dive looking back, it took a lot of new things every step of your way to get where you are right now. So that is something to make sure that you realize you have everything that you need, everything that you need. So as we release that doubt, maybe some self-criticism, right, which we're getting rid of, no need for that, flick, give it the flick, right over the shoulder. You know, let's get excited about all the learning that we have to do in 2021. That's what I'm doing. That's Amy Cole's journal. That's sharing it with you. So it's a time for us to release all that. And, you know, what are some of the new things that you guys want to learn? I'm just curious. Put in the chat. I always ask just to get people chatting a little bit. I'm going to move you on gallery view. What's going on for the world? Who wants to learn what? I see yoga is a recommend over here. Thank you, Jean Marie. Thank you. So what's new? What do people want? Happy New Year. Yes, best practices for digital interviews. Okay, that's what you want to learn. Excellent. What else do people want to learn other than get better on LinkedIn? Excellent, Steve I, specifically for a career Zoom. You're not wrong. Digital media certification. Good job, Felicia. Excellent. Yep. Project management certification is turning out to be pretty big. I can't decide if it's going to increase your salary or you're getting hired for it, but it's a big deal right now. Any type of project management, which is a great transferable skill. Anybody else? Sustainable fashion design, great, Cece, excellent. Portrait painting, I love it. Hillary Lambert, did you see 60 Minutes? Forget his name now, and he's doing paintings. Transcendental meditation, Jamie, could you please throw it my way? Sue Steele, we'll get back to you on questions. Paint by number, see? Okay, sorry, that's funny to me. I love that. I love it. You need to learn some interview strategies. Well, that's what we'll talk about later on in our talk. We'll talk about different ways you can learn more professional tips. Absolutely, we will share that. Okay, social media, algorithms. Yeah, Coach Tibbs, you're right about that. All of this is marketing. And so, we have the staying power to continue through this, but it does take staying power. Julie Hedrick with your baking. You're already the baking queen, girl. Healthier year, yes. So, in fairness, you already, as I say, you already have what you need, but we also have the staying power, or we have to have the staying power to be excited about that learning curve. Allow that learning curve to be messy, to be the zigzag, to not see fruit right away. Who cares? First of all, there's no judgment. That's another piece. We're very self-critical and we judge a great deal. I didn't get that client. Oh, I'm not great at getting back to those people. I'm not this, I'm not that. How about waking up? I'm awesome. I got back to her. I did 2 out of the 21 things on my list. Good for me, right? So mixing it up a little bit and changing it into that optimistic thought, which is another thing I've been doing a lot of reading on, is the neurology of the brain and how positive and gratitude changes the actual makeup of the brain and the blood to the brain and how it feeds the brain and certain chemicals in the brain, as opposed to that every learning curve is a huge hurdle. You know what I'm saying? So Hillary, I should be honest, it's really not a book. I'm a big TED Talk girl and I do a lot of that kind of stuff. I'm not reading a book, but I skim through a neurological, like a magazine on mindset. So anyway, all right, kids. So we know the important part of learning, and that's what we're here today. So every week at Virtual Breakfast, I remind you of the 5 Ps of your professional edge. That is Amy Cole's methodology to getting you in front of the right companies, and so that you can put your best foot forward. What constitutes your professional edge? We have your purpose, why you get up in the morning, what innately makes you happy, what innately do you do, your brand. How do you deliver your skills and expertise is your branding. Branding is critical. You are a marketing engine for your own brand. Amy Cole is a brand. Amy Cole Connect is the company, but I am the brand of that company. My brand is Zip Zip. I don't apologize for high standards. I expect every one of my candidates and every one of my clients to have that mutual respect. I don't work with men and women that I don't feel, in companies that I don't feel have that self-respect or respect for the work that I'm doing either. I have high standards. I do not apologize for it. Call me bitchy, but it's really not. I just happen to be that way. It elevates my brand. It elevates my business. It elevates who I work with. Those people enlighten me, and I feel more eligible to serve them in that place. So that's important. Branding, your professional profile. That's your 3rd P. That is, your professional profile is everything. It's your LinkedIn, it's your resume, it's your cover letters, it's your thank you notes. That's your profile you're putting out there. Then you've got your partnerships, people partners. Who's your network? Who are you hanging out with? Where are you learning from? Who's helping you learn? Are you bantering off of people that are just telling you the same old stuff? Change the way. Remember, we had a virtual breakfast about elevating. Don't be the top in the room, be the bottom in the room, so that you're always learning, okay? And that you can be inspired to continue to learn. If we're going to be to 98, guess what? We got to keep learning. Let's take it from IMP. We also have, the final one is your positioning. So where are you putting yourself out there? You hanging out in your own little house and nobody knows about you? Sorry, the door's not going to get knocked on. Right? We're back to pivot or pound the pavement. Position yourself in places that are more abundant with opportunities, and you've got to position your skill set. So positioning is a double entendre. So those are the 5 Ps of your professionals that we talk about every week. We will get into how you can dig deeper into those a little bit later. last week we had a dynamite woman named Trisha Sweeney. I just think she's just darling. Love the New England accent. And she platformed from being a buyer to now she is selling a software as a service. And we talked about the fact that the e-com business, which is huge, and I'm going to look at my notes so that I don't mess it up, is going to be a $6.5 trillion business in 2022. Okay, so it's a big business. So if she platformed from the wholesale industry being a buyer, a Jordan Marsh executive training program, right? Then went into omni-channel and now is selling to companies that need to aggregate content so that you're on Amazon.com, so that you're on Nordstrom's.com, so that you're on Kohl's.com, or so that you're on Saks.com, Bloomie's.com, okay? So she's now in software, completely different. But she used networking to get there. That was our takeaway from Trisha Sweeney before we left for the holiday, that the growth came from being open to conversations. And I love the theme that happens 39 weeks in a row. Most of my guests share that it's a matter of being open, unzipping, being vulnerable, saying I do and don't know, agreeing that I do and don't know, but listening and seeing where it can, right? And her particular software increases workflow productivity, which is a huge category. Anybody right now in workflow capabilities, project management, automated project management, business management processes are on fire. And all of us have done those in our careers. Every one of us, because it's a process. You're taking something from A to Z. So when I tell you, you have everything you need to excel and to succeed, currently you do. Okay, take a course and learn more. But internally, you've got the skill set or the transferable skill. You just need to learn how to unwrap that skill to put it out there, right? And so today, and I'm very excited, Amy Corso is going to be our speaker, and she has pivoted from wholesale in shapewear, and she is now selling a digital marketing platform, because it's still a brand. She sells brands, and she'll get into what it does exactly, and I need to learn more as she teaches us. But this was a transition for her that wasn't her first choice, and yet it has opened her mind to new things. So before I invite her on, I want you to listen to how she's made some of those changes, her honesty about the challenges, and what's applicable in your world. What could you be unzipping right now and seeing as an opportunity that right now you're using unconscious bias and saying, oh, that's not me, there's no way, right? Or you're not living in the open mind of possibility. Or you're not willing to learn because it's gonna come back. Well, nothing's changed, but the platform has changed. We still need your skills. We just need to have you do your skills in a different place. So Amy, I'm gonna invite you. Let me see if I can find Miss Amy. Oh, there you are, Amy. I asked to unmute. Spotlight your video. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you? Hi, everyone.
Hello, hello. So listen, I'm going to start by just asking you your name and your industry and your title. And then I want to ask a question before you keep going.
Yeah, sure. So I'm Amy Corso. My title is a senior account manager, and I work at a consumer marketing agency.
Okay. So you went from Yummy Tummy Shapewear and handling the e-com business, correct? HSN and the e-com world, Amazon, Zappos, and we can talk about that too. Mm-hmm. But what made you, maybe it was the market. What made you say yes to something like, and your company's called Ripple Street, and I'm going to ask you what that company actually does. What made you even take an interest in it?
I felt like it was the time, if I was going to try something new, this was it. This was the opportunity. I had another offer at a big company in the apparel world, and it was like my dream to work there prior. And I had a lot of tears, and I made a really tough decision, but I feel like I made the right one at the end of the day.
That's phenomenal. So tell us what Ripple Street is. I mean, your platform, markets products like 3M and Fox News and Oreos. I mean, it's broad. I did as much research as I could, but Burt's Bees, Panasonic. I mean, it's the gamut. It's like, you're now talking electronics and healthy foods and, all that jazz. So, Tell us what it actually does, what Ripple Street actually does.
Sure. So we're essentially a peer-to-peer marketing platform. So brands come to us and we help them launch activations on our platform, and our community of almost 1.5 million members are able to apply. From there, they get to essentially vie for the chance to win your product. And then they get your product and they get to review it, share it on social. We talk a lot about UGC, sharing content. I'm sure as you
Say
all
what
know.
UGC is, because I looked it up, but people don't know. Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't know either, actually. I was writing all these down during my interview. User-generated content, so things just that you see on like Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and all that stuff. But I think like the biggest thing that we do, and I'm sure everyone knows, is reviews. So Bazaar Voice and Power Reviews are the two powerhouses of reviews right now. We have a syndication with them. And just because everyone is shopping on e-com so much more now than they ever have, I'm definitely guilty of going on a website and sorting by the most reviews or the best reviews. That's how I shop. So it's really important right now for brands to get reviews, especially if they're launching a brand new product on a website. No one's going to find it. So we're working a lot with product launches right now.
So can I ask a basic question? What is your world called? What is having a platform that you're asking me to write reviews on? Are you digital marketers? Are you content generated? I mean, this is exactly why we're sitting here. What the heck? What the heck is it? What the heck?
So it's really interesting because I even talk about this like with Ripple Street, trying to like pinpoint exactly what we do, because a lot of companies only do one thing of what we do, whether it's reviews or content for social media. We are this umbrella essentially that makes us very unique. We really are unique in the marketplace to do everything that we do. But yes, I would say we're in digital marketing. It would be like the most general broad way to describe it.
And you say this peer-to-peer thing, and I read your website left and right, and you can take this any way you want it. I do think it needs clarification.
I
do my homework. I don't want to be an idiot sitting here, and I actually am fascinated when you and I spoke, and I'm fascinated by the bridges men and women are making in their careers right now. So that's really, and I've always respected you highly, don't get me wrong, but so let me ask one, and then we're going to go back more to you to help men and women that are on the call that need to think about this, making these bridges and transitions. You say peer-to-peer.
Yep.
So and then I could have a chance to win something. Should I go to ripplestreet.com and sign up? And
so I think that's a great way to learn about truly the experience of being a consumer on our platform, is to apply to one of the activations. You'll see that like A to Z essentially, right? So I don't want to like bore everyone with exactly what our company does, but
I mean, we don't even know what an activation means. Is it that you're promoting a product on a certain day and you want me to be there?
So an activation would mean that we do a branded page for your company on our platform. So essentially it would be like a campaign, right? So we just call it an activation because it's like on our digital platform, but you would click in, you would be able to see what it's for. Like we just did one for Canon, right? Canon Ivy. So Canon, you click on, you get to apply to win a camera. Not win, we don't like to say win because there's a lot of guidelines, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely, you need to go through the process. It took me a really long time to understand exactly what we do. I was on probably like 250 sales calls before, like I even like truly understood.
So let's talk about that. So what was the challenge from selling to selling shapewear, which is something that the consumer buys and walks away from and direct to a consumer, to to selling digital, to being a part of this world? Was it the learning? Was it the acronyms? Acronyms are a nightmare for most people.
Yeah, actually, it's really interesting. Like my first day, we had a call with Hennessy because they do like a campaign around the Canelo fight every year. And I was literally sitting there writing down like all these terms. I was like, all right, I have no idea what's going on. And by the way, I was totally upfront with Ripple Street that I'm a newbie. Like, this is very new for me. I essentially leverage the fact that, we all know that the brick and mortar business is dying, and this is a great platform to still get your product in front of people. So I leveraged that knowledge, but I was super upfront with them that I really didn't know what I was doing. It's totally different. Like, I feel like at Yummy and Carol Huckman and Colmar and everything, I really was doing more like account management. This is like a true sales job. Like, I'm being graded on outreach, activity, sending emails. Like, I literally go on LinkedIn and look up companies and learn about them. And I'm like, hey, what's up? Do you want to talk? Like, that's literally what I'm doing every day. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So it's definitely very different for me.
And when you interviewed, how did you, okay, I know you leveraged it because you understand how to get brands out there and grab their attention. And I see some questions in the chat. We'll answer in a second. But,
Don't ask me a question. That's my old manager. She can't do that.
So no, but let's go back to, you said you leveraged that you understood the brands piece. Dig a little deeper into that.
So essentially, like, let's talk about like Nordstrom, for instance, right? An account that I'm sure most of us have a lot of experience with. They're shifting from brick and mortar to e-com business in a huge way.
Okay.
So we know that going into stores, not just like retail stores, but grocery stores too, right? So speaking to the food and beverage category, people are not going into store. They're not touching things. They're not seeing things on the shelf. They're seeing it on this huge platform of online websites. So what makes you stand out, right? So it's reviews essentially right now.
Okay.
And that's the biggest piece of what I leverage, that I know about e-com business, and I know what's important for the brand to stand out on e-com. And I know that our platform can help your brand stand out. So that's it. I really just played on that a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good. You had a one, and I often work with people career coaching wise, is you can't do a spray bullet. You've got to have a point. And if you kept bringing that point up again and again, which probably is exactly what they needed to understand, a brand is a brand is a brand. That's the other piece of what we're talking about in this new digital landscape, period, the end. We still need to design the product. We need to make the product. We need to deliver the product. Just the delivery model has changed. That's all. The designing, the vision board, the creating, the product development, the sourcing is the same. Your Burt's Bees girl is still making all the lip stuff, and the one, right, she's just giving it to you to brand it. It's almost as though sales and marketing is the people that are switching in this world. You know what I'm saying a little bit?
Yeah. I thought that I would be working actually more with salespeople at these different companies, but it's all brand managers and marketing or social people. So that was also a little surprising to me, because I know that these word of mouth recommendations and the reviews essentially will help you generate sales. So that was definitely different.
Well, the digital marketing, the global digital marketing world is going to be 640 billion by 2027. It's currently 322 billion. That's global. United States market is #1 in digital marketing, if you can believe that. I actually can't believe that, because I would think China, with all the number of people, would, but we must do more actual marketing. China's #2, Japan, Canada, and then for European countries, Germany ranks much higher than France, UK. Very interesting. There's quite a divide after Germany. So, now what would you say to, like, I mean, was the dynamic shift in the apparel industry what made you make the move? Like, it was just going all to e-commerce? I know you also had a situation where your company downsized, and I mean, we can be honest, and you had a baby.
Oh, I will be totally honest. I was 7 months pregnant and working at Yummy, and my position was eliminated. And I basically was like, this is my time to take for myself, have a baby, start applying for jobs in February. And then March, I was in the office for 3 days, and they were like, everyone go home, it's COVID.
Yeah.
So it's definitely been a ride for me, taking on a new job as well, virtually, essentially. But yeah, I mean, I believe everything happens for a reason. And I got this job interview, and I actually got an offer, and I was like, shit, I got to do this. Like, I just got to go with this and like take it and run and see how it goes. And I mean, yes. Do I miss checking my Amazon sales and like looking at my product page. Like of course I miss some of it, but it's different, and I just went for it and I'm happy.
Okay, awesome. Would you recommend, I mean, do you feel that people in the capabilities that you know in apparel have the capabilities to be a part of the world that you're in?
Definitely.
Definitely.
Totally.
Okay.
I mean, I can't speak to like sourcing and production and things like that specifically, since that wasn't my job. Sales, yes. I think that you know how to build rapport. I think you know how to merchandise per se. So cater, customize, make it applicable for that customer. Instead of like putting up the 6 pajamas that I want them to buy, I'm going to like create a concept of how your brand could look on my platform, and, have you visualize how much better your brand could look and do based on doing something with me. So it's just, I guess, you talked a lot about it, learning, but also pivoting. So how, morphing your skills into something different.
Exactly. Is there any one skill you think has really helped you? Is it just being assertive and, tenacious about that your value was your value? Or, is it persistence right now as you learn and kind of weave and bob, or?
So I would, if I am allowed to have 2, I'm going to do 2. So okay. Persistence, yes. I literally had a guy from Dr. Prager's email me back and say, wow, your persistence paid off. Let's have a call. Because I emailed him and I was like, I use your products all the time. I'm obsessed with them. We need to talk, or eat them rather. But I think it's also just like staying true to yourself. And that's like a big part of sales, right? Is like, especially now virtually, like I've had so many calls where my dog, who's sitting behind me right now, just goes crazy. And this is it. Like, this is me. This is my life. This is COVID. And just like trying to stay to yourself and building that rapport that that you have and can do with, like I used to only have 10 buyers. Now I talk to like hundreds of people. So just staying true to yourself and being who you are in front of a lot of different people.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much for sharing. Let me just give the chat 1 second. I don't want to get involved in too much of what your product is. There's Glassdoor for reviews. Yes, of course. Thank you, Lisa. Absolutely. How does the consumer even know Ripple is out there to be able to find the campaign? There you go. One quickie on that.
Yeah. So I will say we've been around for almost 15 years. Our growth is totally organic. It's through word of mouth. It's people that have either seen it on social, or we also do a product called House Party pre-COVID, where people got to become into a group with friends and family and experience the product on a shared level. So it's been totally organic. We don't really advertise at all.
That's amazing. I mean, because I didn't know either. And Cindy Ray, I'm going to have you, text Cindy Ray your hello in your phone, because she has a product that's amazing. Thought Pops, positive energy on all these new Zoom calls that may be interested in creating some type of relationship with, Ripple Street. So,
yeah, amazing. Awesome.
Yeah,
Thanks, Cindy.
Yeah, absolutely do that. Amy Corso, Martin Corso. I have you in my database with both going, but I know Corso's so congratulations on this. And I know you were honest with me too, that, like you just said, you do miss apparel, and there's a few things about that, but right now this is where you're at, and what stepping stone it leads to, you do not know. It could be a brand that brings you in-house in the apparel industry because you understand these marketing campaigns, and you went from salesperson to helping them with marketing campaigns. Yeah. I'm always talking a great deal to people to help them just unzip that linear and move into the zigzag. And financially also. Everyone has to understand the financial piece of all of these zigzags too right now, right? You're probably learning at a little bit of a less compensation package, or maybe I don't want to,
Yeah, no, I'm totally fine talking about it. I definitely took a pay cut. And the structure is very different. Even though you work your butt off in apparel, it's not a huge bonus or commission business. And this is. Okay. So I have a much smaller base, but I have a lot of opportunity in commission and bonuses, which is very different for me as well.
Good for you. Good for you. Well, congratulations. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Amy.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. I'm going to, I'm going to jump in and I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to share a little bit how you know, what Amy's up to is exactly what we're up to at Job Search University. And I'm going to share a little bit about what Amy Cole is offering. So give me 2 seconds. I'm not up and rolling on this yet. I didn't get organized, but I can in no time. Let's see. So Amy Cole Connect, as you know, we are executive search. I knew Amy through being a candidate and sending her on opportunities in sales. And through that, we've built this relationship out. And I am that woman, and I do believe that you guys know that from sitting here on Virtual Breakfast. I believe that you and I's network is our net worth. And I am not kidding. Men and women that are staffing for me have gotten to know me. Amy reaching out, being pesty or persistent or tenacious or whatever the word is, that's who I am. I want to continue to build relationships, but also build and be a resource, as you can see things that I'm doing here. And it gives me great joy to be a resourceful kind of person. So in our coaching, I want to highlight, when you go to the website, I talk about why your coach should be an executive recruiter. And I'm just going to highlight that for a minute. I am on the phone with companies hiring. I understand what they're hiring. When I say they're hiring a brand today, I'm not kidding. You have to have a skill. You have to have an expertise. But guess what? Now what comes into play is your brand, how you deliver your skills and expertise. Your purpose, is it on point with Bomb Boss, who's giving back corporate social responsibility? They're not hiring people that don't eat, sleep, and drink and breathe and spit that stuff out, because that's their nugget of value in the market. Socks can be socks, but their socks are giving back. So your brand does matter. So I am hearing that when I'm talking to executives that are hiring. And so I'm going to jump into the Job Search University, because this is an every other week, bi-monthly, twice, the first and third Monday of every month. And we focus on you getting your job search essentials down pat, building clarity, creating a strategy, getting those 5 Ps polished, your purpose and your brand, making that profile branded, your LinkedIn, your cover letters, your skill sets, your thank you notes, digitally interviewing. So I believe that someone asked about digital. Sue Steele, if you would like to join Job Search University, perfect for you. We talk about digital interviewing. And we go through it, and it is me live, of course, and we are talking about everything that it takes to get that platform together. You are building a foundation so that you can confidently and clearly and concisely, if I could trademark those 3 C's, that's what it takes to speak your professional profile, to speak your professional edge in order to attract hiring managers. Your goal is to attract hiring managers, to attract people in your networks that understand so they can speak for you. Okay. Again, jobs are going to be found through people. If you can't speak for yourself, ba-dum, 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 they can't. So it is in this membership that we get down to those brass tacks and talk about that. You execute on your own. If you want to work one-on-one with me, that's a different situation. But this is a group, and I really feel like it's of high value. I should probably invite someone from the group to say hello. It's $97 per month. I have no hidden costs. That's what it is. And, you know, you're going to be able to update your resume in LinkedIn. You're going to plan your job search, right? And figure out what opportunities are right for you so you don't throw the spaghetti against the wall, right? Your digital presence, let's enhance that. Let's make this professional footprint online impactful today. And you're going to learn how to promote your expertise, right? It's important, as I said, writing the cover letter, online introductions, using search engine optimization. So take a minute and head over to this website, Amy Cole Connect Coaching, and then you can sign up, and we are the first and third. And when you join up, you'll be welcome to the portal, and there's over 25 hours of recorded content, digital interviewing, resumes, cover letters, all of the above. I'm stuck for words for a minute, but there's a library in there. So if you wanted to really drown yourself with Amy Cole for 25 hours, you got yourself a deal. So please feel free to update and join that. I would love to have you. So I am going to, you know what, I never do this, so let me do this. Diana Borelli, you're on the top of my thing. Why don't you share what is one of the things that you've gotten out of Job Search University? I really never do this, 39 weeks of virtual breakfast, but you know, it's time I should ask somebody to sing my praises, not me.
Well, it definitely helped me to organize my thoughts and give me an idea of what it was that I really wanted to go after, because I was doing spaghetti on the wall for quite some time. And also, Amy has helped me to build up my confidence in in all the challenges that I was feeling in this environment, and that I was not alone. And also, I love having the other classmates in the group as well, because we all kind of support each other. And it's a wonderful class. And Amy started to come up with a new format with PowerPoint slides to keep us organized, and it's been wonderful. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, we've had 7 people graduate and get jobs. So that's a good thing.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, that's a good thing. And it's not Amy Cole per se, but it's us working together as a team. And as you say, kind of organizing that clarity in your thought. Diana Borelli, you're a doll. Love having you always. So Miss Gwen Harper, I haven't seen in a long time. Let's hear the latest. What's going on, Missy?
Oh, I actually don't have a lot of industry information to report. I lost my job at
Okay.
the beginning of the pandemic, more or less.
Okay.
And I haven't been searching at all, really. I've been painting and
Good.
been selling a lot of commissions. Of course, it's lunch money compared to a regular salary.
I know.
But it's funny that, few $100s that you earn on something that you create from, I always feel uncomfortable, but a talent or,
From your guts.
means so much more than that regular salary selling somebody else's product. Though I will need that other job eventually. And I guess I'm encouraged by Amy's story because I don't see the old business as being something that I really want to pursue, although I feel like I'm kind of trapped in that space. I had 3 headhunters contact me in the last 6 weeks.
Yeah, the market is opening a little bit. Go ahead.
I'm sorry.
The marketing is opening a little bit.
Yes, except for I find our industry has been so backwards and behind the times, and it's horrible. And I think that that's part of what the problem is for why I have issues with their impact on the environment, et cetera, et cetera. But each one had said to me that each position required 5 days in the office now.
Yeah, I know. Don't get started. Isn't it insane?
That's mind-blowing to me. That's not only do they not understand what the circumstances are of our current pandemic, and that many of us are protecting not just ourselves, but an elderly parent that we might be, sheltering with, and et cetera, et cetera. But beyond that, it speaks to how little trust there is of employees that they have, that they're hiring. So if you're hiring me and you're not going to trust me at all, I work like
double time. You're double time. Yeah, you're a double time girl. Yeah.
I leave behind my talent and the thing that I am as an artist. I leave that behind, and I end up being totally consumed by my job. So if I don't have your trust, why am I pursuing this?
Yes.
So that's my issue as I'm looking to go back in. So I'm listening to Amy, and I'm thinking, where do I look to go elsewhere when I don't know what I have beyond? I don't really feel comfortable saying, oh, I work so hard to be something I thought sort of special in my category. Somebody who was a real salesperson who I didn't feel like I had great retail math skills, and I developed them beyond belief. I felt empowered.
Yeah. Well, that's a good thing that you can then say that you learned that within that category. I mean, I'm just going to hop on and jump to some people. Great to see you. And I'm going to speak to that. The thing that Gwen brings up that's really critical is, first of all, she's saying, I'm not sure where that transferable skill is, but there is that transferable skill by listening to Amy Corso, right? So it's just by hearing someone else, all of a sudden you shed one of those, shall I say, a veil of I'm not sure. Right? We got this. We're learning. We're IMPay. We're 98. We're making up a new thing, So it is really important to see, or I should also encourage to sit down and take a look. What do you feel are transferable skills for you? Everybody that's listening on this call, that's the thing that we do touch on in Job Search University. If you work with me one-on-one, transferable skills right now are very important. It's how you spin them, how Amy leveraged sales and the branding from .com omni-channel into This is a digital platform, peer to peer. I mean, it's sorry, but these two things are not the same. But she understood the one nugget that made sense, that transfer, that bridge, that skill, that expertise, that knowledge that said, it works for your industry. But it's a matter of fine tuning, shaving away, deciding which ones should you bring up, which ones should you not. You bring up something old, to Gwen's point about the garment center or the apparel industry being old school, they're old school. They are still thinking that they can figure out e-com when it's necessary. Well, it's past point necessary. They don't have any retailers to sell to. So now it's really, as I say, pivot or pound the pavement, shit or get off the pot. As a manufacturer, you better be servicing companies that are online or you don't have anything to sell to them, right? So that's that. I see a woman named Cece. Hello, Cece, nice to meet you. Thank you for coming. I don't know, how did you find us?
I think a few years ago, someone recommended you to me as a recruiter, and I've been on your mailing list ever since. And I thought that, joining this Zoom and
Have I been
thinking
torturing
about
you?
chances to pivot would be good. What's that?
I wondered, have I been torturing you with the mailing list? My mother sends.
No, not at all.
Okay, my
No, it's
mother
always been
says I
really
send out-
interesting.
Oh, okay, fantastic. I'm just joking, but my mom says she thinks I'm a little overkill. I said, Mom, welcome to digital marketing.
Mhm.
So tell us your name and your title in your industry and your current situation.
All right. So my name is Cece. I'm a fashion designer. I have been using this time during the pandemic to take classes in sustainable fashion design and sustainable entrepreneurship. So right before the pandemic, I just finished like a very long job search. I got hired in February for what seemed like a dream job. It was for a company that designs church suits. So a lot of like kind of vintage silhouettes and tailoring and beautiful like evening wear fabric, but obviously there are no churches open right now, really. So I was laid off on March 18th. And so as a result of the classes that I've been taking, I've started an sustainable Etsy store where I'm selling embroidered art and home decor. So I'm planning on expanding into like pieces that use upcycled fabric and quilting and embroidery to just make wall art. But I am also hoping to find fashion design jobs, but we'll see. I'm hoping to one day expand the store into a brand.
Yeah, well, I think right now, and I'm going to share, this is no big hidden secret, the number of entrepreneurs and small businesses that are starting up during this pandemic are exponentially escalating. Mm-hmm. And prior to the pandemic, they had felt that the US Labor Board statistics, if I get this correct, I can go back in my notes, thought that 50% of people would be freelancers, gig economy, or consultants. That's pre-COVID. So imagine now the number is probably escalated quite a bit, probably to the 60, 65, 67%. But yes, there are going to be jobs again, Cece. Don't lose the faith on that one, because we are going to get back to church. Amen. Hallelujah. I can't wait. I miss it. And, we are going to, it's fantastic that you found something that you could do vintage and silhouettes and work with fabric that excites you, because that sounds like a great one. So keep the faith. Please keep coming back. Thank you so much for joining. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. It's great. It's fun. All right. Who else do I not see? Who else have I not seen in the, let me go to another page. It's a little bit, Tracy Les, what are you doing? Oh boy, here she goes. So Tracy's in a whole different industry. We need to hear your name, your title, and your industry, please.
My name is Tracy Lest. I'm actually a commander in the United States Navy.
So what's happening in your world? What has the pandemic done to your job?
No, my job has gone virtual. So those folks that are not mission essential to keep the press on and keep us our forward posture and ready at the ready, if you will. We're all in a telework environment. So I am currently working on continued destructive behavior prevention for Navy. So I'm working on some training.
And training is a big category right now in the marketplace on the whole.
Absolutely. When you first talked about it, when you opened up this meeting, you talked about unconscious bias and everything that's happening in our world today. That's what we're really focused on, and I'm very proud of the Navy leading the charge in that. As a matter of fact.
Do you feel like there's does the digital world change your world? Like my nephew just graduated from Citadel, and it is his first year in the Air Force in Boston, and unfortunately they're not on a base. Now he's a young guy, 21 or 22, I should know it, right? Darling, and misses the camaraderie piece. And what the Navy and the military bring is accountability, empowering each other to do your best. I mean, is that a big miss now that you're all digital?
Oh, it's been a huge learning curve for everybody. We're not unlike, society in that regard, and in industry, if you will, and especially our senior leadership. Those are the ones making the big decisions. They don't know how to use Zoom. We all concentrate on, we're doing Microsoft Teams, but that just in and of itself is a huge learning curve. And then just trying to function in a electronic environment, not easy. We're where you yell across a cubicle to get answers, to go run down the hall and find somebody to get something. And now you have to actually pick up the phone. Can't rely on texting and whatnot or email, because people are expecting you to be right there at the beck and call at your computer 24/7. It's been difficult.
So you guys in the military are working 24/7 like we are? Because I feel like as civilians, I know, or what, would you call me a civilian? I'm a civilian, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I don't stop. I actually went to bed last night, and I think that, it was 8 o'clock. I don't want to tell you how late it was because of my presentation this afternoon that I have. I was really working way too late. It's almost 15 hours of looking at a screen.
Oh, easily. And I'm the worst at it, because we're supposed to be taking care of our people and not, it's so easy 11 o'clock at night to go check your email now. Before the Navy, we couldn't take our emails home, right? So once you left the office, and maybe you left the office at 8 o'clock at night, and that was your fault, but once you left, you couldn't do anything. Well, we've changed that. We've pivoted, we've had to pivot, and we can take it home. We have all the security stations, if you will, at home to make that possible. But I will send emails at the crack of Delta Dawn through the weekends and whatnot, not expecting anybody to respond. And then I get a response, and then of course, they're in big trouble, but I'm the one doing it. So there is got to be some sort of, work-life balance. I say that in some respect, I'm not embarrassed, but I feel badly that I'm actually employed. I have a job. I'm still getting a paycheck from Uncle Sam. And I know some folks on this call, you're trying to figure out where you fit into this new environment. But I think there's a shared commonality in the fact that we all are impacted one way or the other to figure out how to move forward and what we can do to make it work. And we've been, as a Navy, I will tell you, I don't want to scare anybody, but we've been struggling in this environment to make this work. Just one small ridiculous piece of it is we're required twice a year to do a physical readiness test. Right. Just to maintain standards, right? Because we want everybody to be able to help their shipmates and whatnot. Well, we've canceled two now, at least two, maybe three of those series. Because it's just, you don't want to get close to somebody if you have to, time them for the run, push-ups, sit-ups, those kind of requirements. So we push that. So when you talk COVID-15, it's we're if you're not being held accountable and whatnot, we're growing as a Navy, not necessarily in personnel, but in it's one of those things that's going to come back to I don't know if it's going to bite us, but we have to really look to that.
Wow.
And our next cycle starts in March, and we're really afraid that, are we going to be able to test folks to get everybody moving? It's just all these kind of different things. To your point, it's apples and oranges, but it's things we all have to think about because we're in this whole new environment.
Yeah. Tracy, Les, you're always an inspiration, and CC is saying thank you for serving and thank you for your service.
It's absolutely an honor and a privilege, so I appreciate the acknowledgement.
You're amazing. You're amazing. Guys, I want to thank everyone for coming on. Amy Corso had to jump, but she is amazing. And thank you for being here. We are back on next Wednesday at 10 o'clock. Get your professional edge on. Don't forget to share with others as well. Know that we are a welcoming organization. And don't forget my trick, Command Shift 3. If you have a Mac, take a quick snapshot of all those that are here and invite them on LinkedIn to be a part of your network, because we together are people that support each other. We spiral up with like-minded people that are mission-driven and want to give. So again, we thank Tracy for serving, but we thank all of you for serving each other. So continue to learn and have a good time, and we will see you next Wednesday. Have a great day.